Hello and welcome to the channel. My name is Robert Rutledge. I am a music producer and aspiring video game music composer. Today we'll be talking about a class I did with Berklee Online, Music Production 101. This course brought my music production skills to a whole nother level. In this video, I'll be discussing who this course is for, what I liked about the course, what I didn't like about the course, the overall value, and then final thoughts. So without further ado, let's jump right in. This course is for someone who's just starting out in the world of music production, or maybe not. Maybe you have had some experience in GarageBand or something like that, but you just found it very intimidating and you really didn't get very far into the world of music production. You don't understand things like compression. In my specific case, I was not a beginning music producer, but I may as well have been because I've been at the DIY route and I never really felt like I knew what I was doing. So you will not be learning things like music theory or song structure or, the basic building blocks of music. I would recommend having at least some knowledge in music before taking this course. It would be ideal if you already knew how to play an instrument somewhat proficiently, but not necessary. So this course is taught using Ableton Live. I come from a background using Reason, so this was my first time using Ableton Live. It was pretty easy to learn and it has since become my go-to DAW. However, this is not an Ableton Live course, so it's a little confusing. The principles you learn in this course can be applied to other DAWs, but you will need to have Ableton. This course is geared more towards like electronic music production as opposed to more traditional music production. So think more of a Deadmau5 or a Skrillex as opposed to a Rick Rubin. You work a lot with MIDI instruments. I really liked the online kind of hybrid, asynchronous but not asynchronous aspect of this course. I think this was where this course really shines. Anyone could sign up for a course on Udemy, but I mean, let's be honest, folks, how many of us have signed up for a course on Udemy or Coursera and then never really followed through? It was really cool in the Zoom classes to be able to ask the instructor any doubts you have about music production. I know in my case, since I've been producing music on and off since I was like 16, there was a lot of questions I had. Online textbook was really easy to understand. There are a few different instructors for this course if you go to the Berklee Online page for this course. My instructor was Carla Hassett, and I was very impressed with her. A huge shout out to Carla. She is a Brazilian American singer and music producer, of course, based in LA. I found her to be very professional, very knowledgeable about the subject and very passionate about the subject. I really couldn't have asked for a better instructor. I also really liked getting to meet fellow musicians and beginning music producers. And I really liked listening to my classmates' pieces progress. You upload your piece, your Ableton files each week, and then you get feedback from your classmates and feedback from the instructor. That brings us to what I didn't like. So there were really only a few minor things I didn't like. Everyone was so passionate about music that we sometimes got off subject and the class ended later than the allotted time. The other aspect that I think maybe could have been improved was that basically what happened was that Carla had 3 cohorts of students. She said, I don't want to give the same lecture 3 times in a week. I'd prefer to give 3 different lectures and then open each lecture to the 3 different cohorts. The downside of that was that on the online portal, we didn't have access to the other cohorts' forum posts or music submissions. So it would have been cool to open up the cohorts on the online platform as well, but I understand maybe the logistics of that are a bit more complicated. The overall value of this course, let's address the elephant in the room. This was not a cheap course by any means. I do feel I got a great value out of this course. The instructor was an amazing guide as I embarked upon this journey to improve as a music producer. I think it would have taken me 3 years to grow as much as I did in 3 months taking this course. I finally feel comfortable doing things like mixing. You get what you pay for. So I am happy and satisfied with my decision to have taken this course. It was pretty easy, not gonna lie, but I do feel I learned a ton and I grew a ton as a music producer. I was really impressed with Berklee Online in general. All right, one last thing. So when I signed up for this course, I bought a notebook. I think we romanticized this whole idea of taking notes, but basically what happened in my case was as the weeks went by, I stopped taking notes. Halfway through the course, I stopped taking notes. I don't feel like it was very necessary. What I did find was doing the homework assignments on Google Docs was better than doing them within the Berklee Online platform itself. One time I was working on my homework assignment and the live class started and it erased all my work. So after that incident, I started just copy and pasting everything to and from Google Docs, and that really worked. And the other added bonus of that is that you can then have that Google Doc, whereas on the Berklee Online platform, I think they say they erase all that text that you write for your homework assignments after like 6 months or something like that. And these homework assignments, they really get you thinking about music, and it's always pretty personal to you. You can use your homework responses as like a blog post or a newsletter or even a book. And I think this is a great resource for us as musicians living in the digital age, since we need to have an online presence and online following. That's about all I have for today. Thank you for being here if you've made it this far. If you got value out of this video, please consider subscribing, and we'll see you on the next one. Have a great day. Take care.